All right. Bonus episode for this week. I didn't really have one planned. I do have some stuff I want to talk about in bonus episodes down the line, but given how this week has gone for me, I feel like I need to just talk. So you're not going to hear a lot of editing. You're not going to hear a lot of music in the background. You're not going to see, or you're not going to hear that a lot, because I just feel like I need to get stuff off my chest and I need to talk. So that's why we're just doing this, just like anybody talking into a microphone. That's what I'm doing. And we'll do these kind of podcasts from time to time. So this week has not been good for me. And if you're taking a journey like I am in self exploration and finding out who you are and working on yourself and becoming a better person, and working and managing your anxiety and depression like I am, you're not going to have, every week is not going to be a um, perfect week. You're going to have rough weeks. And for me, this was a very rough week. I have a lot of stuff going on in my head, a lot of anxiety and depression about life stuff. And the depression hit me really hard in the middle of the week. It got so far, in fact, that I felt suicidal for a time. Luckily, that passed, and I'm just hoping it doesn't happen again. Um, I'm going to be taking next week to just kind of decompress, focus on myself for a little bit, because I need that time to just think about what's next. And so that is why I am just focusing on myself next week. I'm going to try to push out an episode of the podcast. If I don't, you'll know why. But I don't know. Just a lot of stuff happening in my mind and outside in the world here just kind of came raining down and hit me like a ton of bricks in the middle of the week, and it led to a steep depression. Something I have not felt in quite a long time. I think the last time I've had suicidal thoughts of any kind was 5 years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So yeah, it's been a while since I've had any real suicidal thoughts of any kind. And and really the plan is to go talk to a therapist, because I really need to do that. I'm going back to the doctors very, very soon, and I'm going to see if she can give me tips to go to a therapist or something, because that is something I need. But this is also therapeutic, talking to all of you, getting out my thoughts. But this can only go so far. Talking to a real life human being who is not connected to me in any way, shape, or form is also something that needs to be done. It just does. Um, I am just grateful for everyone who is there for me, who was there for me this week. Um, it was a tough week. Like I said, not every week is going to be good. My depression just came out in force. As Jake Laser said, the beast came out of the box this week, and it was just a tough week. And it happened at all time. Out of all times, it happened while I was at work. So, but I would have rather it happened at work than at home, because given my situation there, I won't go into the details, but given my situation there, it wouldn't have been good. But I'm glad. I kind of, if there is a silver lining to having this depression episode of of this magnitude, I'm glad it happened at work. I didn't want to say depressive episode, because I didn't know how it would have sounded, but this depressive episode, um, I'm glad it happened at work. I'm glad it did not happen at home, because, like I said, in my small little town, not a lot of people take anxiety and depression as seriously as I do. And that is why I am talking to you about it now. Because it's just it's important for me to talk about, and I just want you to know how real it is, if you didn't know how real it was before. And I just am, like I said, I am grateful for everyone who either reached out or whatever this week, because I needed it. I'm up on the up and up. We're slowly getting better, slowly but surely. It's not going to be easy to dig myself out of this hole. I'm down. I can't go down anymore. So the only way to go is up, and we're on the rebound. Slowly but surely, we're getting there, and I will get there again, back to a better place. So yeah, I didn't want to make this too long. It was just a very rough week. And like I said, you're going to have those in this journey that if you're taking this journey like I am, you're going to have these weeks. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And like I said, the anxiety and depression, I've said this in previous episodes, it's not going to go away. You're always going to have it. It's just you're hoping it doesn't flare up. For me this week, it flared up, and it flared up big time. And it got so bad that it led me to suicidal thoughts that I hope do not come back out to play anymore. We need to keep those pushed to the side, and hopefully they don't come back. But next week, taking time to myself, hopefully I can decompress and kind of relax a little bit mentally, and maybe going to try to work on the physical stuff too, because I don't look good. I'm still a big fella, but like I said, I want to thank everybody who reached out and who talked to me through this week and who was there for me this week. I really am beyond appreciative of that. It's hard. Sometimes it is hard for me to talk about, and it is hard for men to talk about. Like I said in my first episode of this very podcast, us guys, we got to be more open about this stuff. That's why I'm doing this episode this week, man, is because as men, we have to be more open about this stuff. You can't just let it sit there and stew. You got to be open. You got to talk about it. It's okay to not be okay, guys. You got to open up. If you're struggling, reach out. There are services to help you out. I'm going to be reaching out to my doctor here real soon to get some therapy because I need it. I've been meaning to do it for years. I have not done it yet. Mostly because of my anxiety, because I do have a bit of a problem talking to somebody on the phone. But I'm working on that too. But vulnerability is true strength. Remember that. Jay Glazer, Fox NFL Insider, does Unbreakable, the podcast, wrote the book. Vulnerability is true strength. And I'm being vulnerable with you guys. And I'm always going to be vulnerable, honest, real, and open on this podcast. Every single week. I'm always open. I'm always honest. I'm always real with you. So you know that for a fact, that I am 100% authentic. What you hear on this podcast is what you're going to hear in real life from me if you bring up this topic, or if you want to talk about anything really. Social media, of course, is not our reality. It's just a filtered look at our life. But yeah, like I said, rough week. I needed to talk about it. I thank you all for listening. I thank you all for the kind words and the comments. And like I said, anybody who reached out, I really sincerely appreciate it. That was this week's bonus episode. I'll be back hopefully next week with a brand new episode of the podcast. Maybe we'll do another bonus episode. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. Anyway, have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves, and I'll hopefully talk to you again next week.